Hi everyone. So in previous video we have set up the data source and basic Power App, and in this video we are going to set up the branding and we'll see what are the Power App component. So I'll switch over to my desktop. So as you can see, this is the application we are going to build. So what we are going to build today, we are going to build this header and we are going to see what are the Power Apps component, and we are going to set up the branding using the variables as we saw. So I'll go to my Power Apps. So this is my PowerApps application. There is nothing here for now. So to first set up the branding, we need some colors. So I found this really cool website, that's colors.co. Here you can see a lot of color palettes you can use in your application. So I have used one color palette as you can see here. So all this color we are going to use in our design. So what we are going to do, we have to first make a variable and we are going to set this color value in that. So as you can see, there are hex code available for every color. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to click on it and I'll just going to copy the hex code. If you are familiar with Figma, then I will share this link with you, or if you are not, you just go to this website and you just select a color palette, and if you click on the color, the hex code will copy automatically. So let's say this is the color palette I have chosen. I will copy this primary color. I will go to Power Apps and we need to set up on start. Go to on start. I will create one variable that says brand setting, comma. So in this I am going to create an object type. So in that we are going to use colors, font, all these settings. So what I will do, I will just create a curly bracket. That first I am going to use color, and in that I am going to use primary color as color blue. So to use a hex code in Power Apps, we have the formula called color value in brackets. So we are just need to provide the hex color code inside that. So I am going to paste the hex code here. In the similar way, I am going to use my secondary color. I will just rename it as secondary. Then I will copy this blue. I will just copy this yellow one. I will paste that code here. Then I'm going to use one accent. So for it I will choose this blue one. I will go to Power Apps. I will paste that color here. And for text, we have the black color. So I'm going to set it value as 25, 25, 25. And we are going to use one white color. And its value is 6 times F. Then we are going to use one red and green color. So as you can see in our design, we have this green and yellow color, and we are going to use one red color also. So what I will do, I'll just copy this. I will rename the variable as red. I will go here, I will select a red color. I will select this one. I will put that code here, and at last we are going to use one green color. So I will just copy this one. So as you can see, our color setting are done. Now we are going to set the font. So what I'll do, I'll just put one comma. I will go here, I will put font, again curly brackets. In that I will choose text size 12. So one thing to note here, in Power Apps we don't have unit in pixels. We have the units in points, so here I have put 12. That doesn't mean it is a 12 pixel, it is a 16 pixel. So 12 points is equal to 16 pixel. So this thing to note here. Then I will put one heading, text adds 20. Okay, so this is the setting we have done so far. So I will check if it's creating or not. So I'll just insert one rectangle here and go to its color property. What I will do, I will select our variable name, brand settings dot, I will use color dot, and I want to apply it as a red color, right? So as you can see, it is appearing as white because we have not triggered that on start event. So as I click on start, the color will appear. That means our brand setting are done. You can add also font size, font family, font weight here, but for now I just require these settings. So the first thing is done. Now what we are going to do, we are going to build this header. So for that we have two options. Either you create headers manually for every screen, or you create a single component for it and use it across all your screens. So the best thing about component is you just have to build it once, so you don't need to go to every screen, you have to change them. Let's say you have 10 or 20 different screens, and header is going to same like this. You have the application name, you have the greeting text, and your profile photo. So if you build it manually for every screen, in case future if you want to change the background color, then you have to go to every screen to change the background color. But if you use a single component for it, you just have to change in one place, it will reflect on all other screens. So we will take a look at how we are going to build this component. So as you can see here, we have the components tab. So just click here, you select a new component. On the right hand side, you see the width property here. So currently it is set at 640, but what we want is we want that component to take a full width of the application. So for that we have the formula called app.width, and the height I will choose as 60. Then what I am going to do, I am going to add one container. So container, it just works as a div element like we have in HTML. And here also I am going to set a property called parent.width. Now here also I can use the app.width, but we already have the component one, which is our parent. So that's why I put the width as a parent.width. So as you can see, the value is 1366. Even though I put app.width, the value is going to be same. But what we want is, we want that width to inherit by its parent, and its height to be parent.height. So as you can see, the height is 60 and the width is 1366. Then what I'm going to do, as you can see, we have one background color as a blue, we have QNA app text, greetings, and the profile picture. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go to color property of the container, just select the container first. I am going to click on color. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to use that blue color. So the variables are not accessible in the component, so you have to manually go here and put that hex color code. So to do this, we have the formula called color value, and in that you have to put that color. Then I am going to add one text label, and its height also I want as a parent.height. I will choose this y as 0 and x as 24. I will simply change its text QNA app. I will set font weight as bold and I will set it color to white. And font, what I will do, I will choose 16 here. So it's a 16 point, not 16 pixel. And here as you can see we have a little bit space from the left. So what I am going to do, go to paddings and just make it 0. Because what we are going to use a 24 pixel margin on left and right side just to make it consistent. So the first thing we have done, now what we are going to do, we are going to add one image and the greeting text. So for the greeting text I am going to just duplicate this one and I want this to be left aligned, because if the text is, if someone person name is greater, so it doesn't wrap up, so it look like this. So I am going to just go to text alignment as align right, and what I am going to do, I will go to text here. I will just add hello and then I will put the logged in username. So for that we have the formula to get user property like user dot, we want to display its full name, so we'll use full name here. I'm going to put its font size as 12 and I'm going to make the width this one. Then I am going to add one image control to display user image. I'm going to make it height as parent.height and width to be 40. And we have to set the user's profile picture here. So for that we have property called user.image. So what I'm going to do, you just need to click on the image and here what you can do, user dot image. So as you can see there is no image I have added in my profile. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add it manually from my system, or what we can do, we just put it as it is. And we are going to give a border radius at 100 and I will put this one here. So you need to select the container first and you can see there are little border radius applied to the container. So just select the container, go to drop shadow, click on none, go to border radius and set it to 0. So for now I will remove this border radius just because I don't have any profile picture, that's why it's happening like that. If you have profile picture set up, then it will appear in a complete circle. So for now I will just make it as a 0. Now as we are building a responsive application, what we need to do, we have to make it completely dynamic. It's x-axis, y-axis and all. So this is the component we have built. I will just rename as component.cmp header. I will rename the control, that container is a CTR. So the best practice to rename your controls. For the image I will put as user image and this label will be user name and this one is app name. So I'm going to go to screens, click on insert, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select the component. So as you can see CMP header is appearing. So as you can see there is no settings available here. Just like if you add any control here, let's say I'll add text input. You have see a bunch of different properties here, but for the components we only have this kind of settings, so I can't do anything here. I just increase this heights, weight, but I cannot change the font color, or neither I can select the text here. If you want to make change, you have to go to components, and here you need to make change. So let's say if I want to change its color to, let's say, yellow, I just click here yellow. I will go to screens, and as you can see, the color is appearing here. So this is the main advantage of the component. You don't have to go to every screens, you just need to change in one place. So this header as we have added, I will save my Power Apps. I will play this, and as you can see, as we have built a responsive application, the width of the component is taking as a full width because we have set the app.width property. But as you can see, the name and the image is not appearing correctly. That is because we have to set the x-axis dynamically. So for that, what we need to do, I am going to components. I will select the image, and what I need to do, I will go to x-axis. I will put here parent.width. So as you can see, it is going outside the container. I am going to minus its width, its own width. So for that, we have the property called self.width minus. So as I mentioned, we need 24 pixel from left and right. So what I am going to do, I will minus 24. So let's see what difference does this make. I am going to app here. So as you can see, there is nothing much changed here. But as I hit on play, as you can see, the profile image is appearing. So what if I change the layout? So let's say I will select it to iPad mini. As you can see, the image is appearing. So for every layout, it is consistent, right? In mobile also. Now what we are going to do, we have to manage the text also. I will just switch it to window size. Okay. Now I will go to components. I will select the text, and for the text, what I am going to do, I am going to use the reference of this image because we already have the image set up, and we just need some 20 or 24 point gap in between these two. So I am going to select the image, just copy the name, select the username label, go to its x-axis, and here you need to put user image.x. So we are going to use this reference minus self.width, and then we want 20 point gap in between, or we can set it as 16. So I generally prefer the points and all in multiple of 8 or 4. Now I will go to screen. So as you can see, there is nothing change here. When I click on play, as you can see, the image and the name is appearing correctly. So let's say if I change that layout to iPad, let's say, or even though in mobile, as you can see, it is appearing correctly. So this is the way you have to build a responsive application inside Power Apps. So generally we are making it for the Windows and tablet. For the mobile app, for the complete responsive application, it is going to take a little bit of time. So the main purpose is to show you how to build a responsive application. So as I mentioned, Power Apps is responsive, but not by default. We have to make the adjustment to make it responsive. So in the upcoming videos, we are going to build this search, filters, and department ask question, this container, and we are going to set up a gallery. And also in the list we have created in the previous one, so in this list I have added some dummy data using ChatGPT. So we have the question, response, status. I have added department name, because we are going to use one gallery, so for that we need one data. That's why I have added this using ChatGPT. You can also add the question and response you want. You just have to add status, as all those are answered, they have answered in it. And as you can see, there are some blank responses whose status is response pending. So this kind of data you can add in your application. We are going to see in the next video. Thank you.